This is a team that has title aspirations. Everyone has to put in all that preparation.
I am going 6-0 in the division because the rest of the division sucks.
This is the best division in football, Tori. Take that step back. We are seeing the true quarterback that he really is, which he is not a very good quarterback.
Welcome to the Man Now, where we taking over. It's time to give you them facts. Won't miss a game or two, cause we here for you and we reporting all of them stats. We coming to you live to keep you updated. Broadcast across the country, we the fan favorites. Break the volume to the max and don't nobody touch it. We crossing topics off the list, addressing every subject. So if you ain't got a clue, then you can tune in and give it 24 hours and we back again. Breaking news, new scoops, we the top dogs. From the fields to the courts, we report it all. Buzzer beaters through your speakers, we the ones to call. Trust us for the news if it's got a ball. Giving you the top stories cause we love the turf. Tell a friend to tune in and where you heard it first. Yeah, you're listening to the Man Now. We taking over, it's time to give you them stats. Yeah, you listen to the Man Now. Miss a game or two cause we reporting all of them facts. Yeah, you listen to the Man Now. We taking over, it's time to give you them facts. Turn the speakers up a little loud. Miss a game or two cause we reporting all of them stats. Because you listen to the Man Now.
And what is up, Man Hour Nation? Michael Buckhouse here with the Man Hour. Be sure to head over to manhourradio.com. Check out the blog section. Of course, check out the merch section as well. We got the new Fire merch that's dropped this month, and it has been a bestseller by far. It is a beautiful merch Fire here. Let me come up here, guys. Sure. Look at that thing. That is some fire merch dropping over there at manhourradio.com. It is beautiful. And just like this Friday afternoon here, I got the man, the myth, the legend itself, Mr. Tori Anderson at manhour_Tori on the old Twitter machine. What's up, Tori? Yeah, it is a beautiful Friday. We're mixing things up here a little bit. Usually we do Fantasy Football Wednesdays, but we're going to move it to Fantasy Football Fridays because the Triple F sounds a lot better, Tori. Triple F. Yeah. Yeah, so speaking of make or break here, Tori, we are getting right into the trade deadline here of the fantasy football season and in the NFL season as well. So at this particular time, there are teams that are going to be making that playoff push or teams that are like me that are just kind of like checked out for the rest of the year. So give me a player that you want to pick up that is a very, very low trade value right now. So we're going to buy him low. Who is that player?
We coincide right with the NFL trade deadline. So, we have up to for us, it'll be now the 29th to make a trade. But Isaiah Pacheco, he's probably available in most leagues. If somebody's got him, you could probably buy low, get him for, relatively cheap from somebody else that maybe probably isn't using him or has no need for him, is just kind of stashing him as maybe. Knowledge is power at this point. I think his reps are going to do nothing but go up. He didn't have a spectacular game, but he got his first career touchdown. I think he had a touchdown last weekend, didn't he?
Yeah, he sure did.
So yeah, it was his first career. So I mean, he had like 8 carries for 43 yards, I think.
Yep.
It's, if you look at his yards per carry when he has gotten the ball, like more than like once a game, it's been almost a 5-yard average that he's had. So he's running hard. He's got the potential. He just needs to get the opportunities. And I think the second half of the season, he could definitely be a difference maker that you can pick up relatively cheap right now from almost anybody or even off the waiver wire. I actually, in my league, a 12-team league, he was on the waiver wire. I actually submitted a claim because, again, a lot of people aren't going to look at him this week because he's on bye. To me, that's the perfect time to get him because you're looking at him when nobody else is. You got to take a look at those bye weeks and use them to your advantage as well.
Right, and also just to add to your point there, the Kansas City Chiefs had a stable of running backs to start the year, but now they're down to 2. They're down to Clyde Edwards and then Isaiah as well, since Rojo is on IR and Jared McKinnon now is getting more of a wide receiver role instead of a running back role. So definitely a great time to pick up Isaiah right now. So Tori, are there any other people that you want to buy low right now?
One of them, and I have him on my team, but you need to look at him, is Keenan Allen. Keenan Allen has been injured most of the year. I mean, I picked him up. I think he was my second round pick, and he played the first game and then got hurt. He played very limited last week, had 2 catches, I think, but now Mike Williams is out. So again, a lot of people might have already kind of moved on from Keenan. He might be an afterthought at this point. I tried to pull one, and I tried to trade him for Alvin Kamara, but it got rejected. But that's just because I have enough at my wide receiver core that he could actually be expendable for me. But if you need wide receiver help, and at this point, because he hasn't played a ton, you could probably pull off a coup for a mid-level player to get a potentially elite number 1 wide receiver.
Yeah, and that team is, they've been struggling the first 6-7 weeks of the season, but I anticipate them kind of coming around here in the second half. So real life football is definitely going to translate over to fantasy. And I do like that Keenan Allen, because I actually just dropped Keenan Allen in my league just because he has not been producing for me like all year. And of course he has been hurt, but now they do list him as healthy. So we got that going for those Keenan Allen fans out there. So on the opposite side of the spectrum here, Tori, it is also that time of year where you can dump those players that just aren't performing well, like the big name, like maybe, I don't know, Deshaun Watson, right? Like give me a player that you are going to sell high that is not going to hurt you moving forward.
And I hate to say it because he's on my team, but I just keep feeling like the cliff's coming. Something's going to happen. Jacoby Brissett has played amazingly well for the Browns so far this year. And I made a trade for Amari Cooper, but I feel like that cliff is coming for whatever reason. And a lot of it is, I don't know if I watch Red Zone every weekend, but another one of my guys that I kind of thought would kind of make a big leap this year is starting to step up, and that's Donovan Peoples-Jones. He's starting to cut into some of those targets and that were going to Amari, where Jacoby was kind of focusing in. He's starting to spread the ball around more. I think Amari Cooper, for as well as he's played the first half of the year, I think that cliff is coming. So on that point, I'm kind of glad I still got Keenan Allen's back up in my thing. But if you could probably sell high on Amari Cooper right now, and probably, depending on what you need, it's like I said, I tried to make another trade. I tried to revamp my trade with Keenan Allen for Kamara to Cooper for Kamara, but that got rejected as well. But I honestly, I think Cooper is going to end up taking a big crater here.
Yeah, and also you have to realize as well, I believe it's week 14 or 13 when Deshaun Watson can come back, right? So that's just 4 weeks away. So who knows who is going to be his number 1 target moving forward,
and
right?
that's it. He's got doesn't have chemistry because he hasn't been able to practice. I don't know when they allow him to come back to be around the facility.
He is in the facility now. I think he can start practicing the first week of November.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, but even at that point, you don't know who's going to develop the chemistry with him. I mean, for all we know, it could be Donovan Peoples-Jones, and all of a sudden we're talking about him as the number 1. It could be, I don't know, is Rashad Higgins still in there? I think he's hurt.
Yeah, he is.
So, it doesn't. You don't know at this point. And again, even though it's Deshaun Watson coming back in, Deshaun probably going to be rusty. He hasn't played in how long?
2 years.
Over a year.
Yep.
2 years, yeah, 2 years. So he's going to be rusty. He's not going to probably be at a top form. So that all kind of spells doom for Amari Cooper's value going down the stretch. So it's good to have. I hope you have a backup plan going down the stretch besides saying I'm going to have Amari Cooper as my number 1.
Yeah, so Tori is saying if you guys have Amari Cooper right now, you can probably get him, sell him at a very high value and not going to really hurt you in the end here. So Tori, give me one more potential player that you could sell high right now.
Mr. 3 touchdown himself last weekend, Zeke. Like everybody's riding high again. And I continually will throw his name out there as an overrated player. He had one good game. People are going to be like, Zeke's back. This is the perfect time because, again, you're going to get some Homer fan that's like, Zeke is the greatest running back, and they will give you almost anything you want for him. They're like, he had 3 touchdowns. This is it. This was his coming back up. No, it's Mike McCarthy. He'll again at the first sign of trouble, he'll abandon the run,
Right.
go right to the pass, and there goes all the stats. So it just so happened to work out that they were down around the goal line, and Zeke is actually a better goal line back at this point in his career than anything. So the touchdown league, yeah, maybe. But as far as fantasy football wise, for being on an elite running back, just not going to happen anymore. Sell high on him right now.
Yeah, and you also have to realize that this was Dak's first game coming back, so they definitely didn't want to open up the floodgates and throw the ball 40, 50 times in that game. So I definitely see that happening, because I do see Dak starting to be back to the old Dak, right, and throwing 40, 50 times a game, and that's definitely not the Cowboys' MO, unfortunately. So, Tori, are there any other dark horses on a sell high, buy low type of thing that you want to put out there before we move on?
Again, like I picked them up last weekend, and they did well. I think that the New York Jets defense is for real. As much as I want to call them a pretender, I don't think I can at this point. They're 5-2 with an offense that's even more anemic than the Packers right now, and they still beat the Packers. So it's I like their defense. I like the way they're going. I think Sauce Gardner is the real deal. Yeah. He's going to probably be our next kind of shutdown corner. He's probably going to be potentially a Revis 2.0.
Right.
That defensive line's playing well. Their only real question mark is that linebacker, and they're not terrible either.
Right.
So, I think right now, yeah, if you can still get the Jets defense, I think that's going to be a really good play for you for the rest of the year. The rest of the division is kind of up for grabs. I mean, New England doesn't know who they're going to start at quarterback, but Bill just said apparently he's going to start Mac Jones. So
right.
The rest of the division is probably applauding that. The only clear-cut team you really got there is the Bills.
Yeah.
Tua, you don't know what you're going to get out of him each week. So, there's those division games, and again, he plays in the AFC. So, the Jets. I got to be a believer in them. As much as I never thought those words would come out of my mouth, I'm a believer in the New York Jets defense. I still hate Zach Wilson though, and I still think he's trash.
So I'm glad you brought up the New York Jets defense, because looking at their schedule moving forward, they do play New England twice in the next month, but then they also play the Buffalo Bills twice in the next month as well. So it's kind of a give or take there. But moving forward, they do play a Chicago team that surprised us on Monday, a Vikings team that's very sneakily good. But then you got Detroit, Jacksonville, Seattle, and Miami. So, might want to get a backup defense, though, right?
You already know my philosophy on that. I am a one defense guy. If they're got a tough matchup, I will pick somebody up off of the waiver wire and cut whoever I don't need that week.
Right.
I very much play that. I play I always have one quarterback, one defense, because most times I'm only need the quarterback for 1 week out of the year, and then the defense I play situational at that point.
All righty, so you guys heard it here first. Jets defense for the rest of the year. Per by man Tori Anderson at manhour_Tori. So you guys got any fantasy football questions, be sure to hit him up on the old Twitter machine, or you can click on the link in the description below. It'll take you to our Facebook group, our fantasy football discussion group as well. So, Tori, with all that being said, there have been some major trades happening in the NFL the last couple weeks, and one that kind of really shocked everybody was CMC to San Francisco 49ers. Now, he has had a game under his belt. He got to, touch the water a little bit. So what do you think kind of fantasy impact moving forward does CMC going to the 49ers have?
Once he kind of gets integrated, again, it takes about a month to get integrated into an offense. It's not, he ran a few plays here and there in their game Sunday. I think at this point right now, he's a better bench option for you. But in about 2 weeks, that's when you're going to want to probably start starting him. He's going to have a better grasp of the offense. He's going to kind of have more things under his belt. Kyle Shanahan's a great offensive mind. There's going to be packages in there, and I'm kind of interested. They have weapons everywhere, all over on that offense at this point now, and so it'll be interesting how they deploy them. So I'm really excited for it. I think that he's got a good fantasy outlook. After about 2 more weeks, he could be a difference maker for you in the fantasy playoffs. That is for sure.
Yeah, so definitely
with him, health a question.
Yeah, that seems the biggest issue for him, like ever, right? Is like how healthy can he be? So there was another big transaction happening over the NFL this past week as well, because we saw Breece Hall go down with the ACL tear, and that means the Jets picked up James Robinson from the Jacksonville Jaguars. So that leaves Travis Etienne as a one-man show, and that moves James Robinson into a possible starting role for the New York Jets. What do you think the fantasy outlook of those two guys are?
Upside for both. Like, at the start of the season, Etienne didn't look comfortable. And I had said that. I'm like, I had picked up James Robinson, and I had been starting him for the first few weeks. It seems like something started to click with Etienne, obviously. He's becoming a lot bigger part of that offense. He's looking a lot more explosive. He looks like he's learned the playbook now at this point. It looked like even a little bit, maybe it was sluggish because coming off that knee injury, maybe he was a little scared with the knee. He's got a little more confidence in it now, and all of a sudden he's starting to run like the Etienne that he was at Clemson. I think he's got a great fantasy outlook because he's a clear-cut number one right now. You got his backup now. I think will be Agnew. I think they're in Jacksonville.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Who is more of a receiving back, anyways. So I think it's great for Etienne. I think it's a good move for James Robinson as well. The bigger story on that one for me though is Michael Carter didn't look terrible for the Jets last year and played halfway decent. This is more about Michael Carter's outlook with the Jets than James Robinson, because that just means they didn't have the confidence in Michael Carter to be a number one back. James Robinson's going to step in there, probably be their number one back right from the get-go. And he gives Zach Wilson a dump-off option, which is he's like the king of. He's right. Like a new version of Alex Smith or Cam Newton, because he can't throw it down the field. For as much of an arm as he got, he doesn't throw it down the field a whole lot. But it gives him another weapon, especially with the unknown at the wide receiver position with the Jets. I mean, they're shopping Mims and Moore both right now, and those are both very recent wide receiver draft picks for them.
Yeah.
So, there's something going on with the Jets right now too. So, to me, because they don't have the great wide receiver depth or really great wide receivers outside of Corey Davis, who's average at best right now, it makes James Robinson that much more valuable because he's versatile.
All righty. So, I mean, like what is happening there in New York is kind of weird because you think winning cures all, winning kind of keeps it up, but Mims and Moore both want out for whatever reason. But this brings out a person that wanted out of New England a long time ago. He ended up in Tampa Bay, and it seems like maybe he has found the cliff or maybe found some cocaine, or I don't know what is happening, but he is definitely not looking like himself, and that is Tom Brady. I do have Tom Brady as a quarterback on my fantasy team right now. Is this a quarterback, do you think, that can turn it around, or should I just go ahead and drop him?
How can you not? He's Tom Brady. He has Godwin. He has Evans. He has touchdown Lenny. He has who's their tight end? Oh, I suppose Cameron Brate's hurt now, isn't he?
Yeah,
he's out. So yeah, you never count Tom Brady out ever. No, they're all like, oh my God, he's only got 8 touchdown passes on the year so far. One thing I've learned is never bet against Brady. Yeah. Never. 28-3, baby.
Yeah. So you're telling me that I should definitely hang on to Tom Brady in the fantasy league, then, right?
Absolutely.
Oh, all right. I mean that is all the confidence that I needed, because Tom Brady has had me worried here in the last couple weeks. And what's crazy is the Buccaneers are 3-4 in their first in their division, and people are all writing them off. So I mean, you guys do you at the end of the day. But a team and a player that has really shocked us this year, this team did not give Daniel Jones a 5th-year option. They said, hey, play it, make it, or break it. And right now, Daniel Jones is making it. He has more rushing yards than Najee Harris right now on the season. So Daniel Jones, do you think he will keep up this fantasy, basically trending up every week, or has he maybe finally hit the ceiling?
I don't think so. When we did the show last year and we were doing our predictions, I predicted this for the Giants last year. Like I said, this will be Daniel Jones coming out party. And technically I was right. I was just a year ahead of time. I was so good at my picks. I was a year ahead. So no, I think it is. I think Daniel Jones is finally becoming the quarterback that we kind of thought he could be. You saw glimpses of. Here's the thing. He's going to have a head coach for more than 1 year in a row now.
What?
So
that's the thing.
Did he had like what? He had 3 coaches in his first 4 years.
Yeah, what he had Adam Gase, right? And then
He had McAdoo.
Yeah. No, Adam
and
Gase was
somebody
for the
else.
Jets, wasn't it? I can't remember. Yeah.
Jets. Jets.
Yeah.
It was McAdoo. He had Joe Judge, and there was another one in there, I thought.
No, this is just the third. So yeah, this will be the third coach.
Oh, so but still, his third head coach in his first 4 years. How do you expect a quarterback to get comfortable when you're learning a new offense every year? So yeah, and he played well his rookie year, and that was I think that was McAdoo's first year, and I think McAdoo made it to year 2, but not to year 3.
Yeah.
And then we had he got fired, and then Joe Judge had it for 2 years.
Maybe
Whatever, it's his third coach, whatever way it is.
And he had
But
Jason
still,
Garrett
it's
as like as a coach, so that tells you a lot, right there, right?
I mean, Dallas still loves him, don't they?
I don't know. I couldn't tell you.
But still, yeah. I think we have not seen the peak of Daniel Jones yet. So I think he's just now finding where he can play and where he's comfortable at. So I think we got more to come. I think out of Daniel Jones. He's sneaky, super athletic. Doesn't look it, but he will take off and run on you in a heartbeat.
Yeah, and he's actually doing a lot better this year at it. And I just pulled up a stats here on Yahoo Sports Fantasy. 60% of the leagues do not have Daniel Jones drafted. So take that into consideration, guys.
Yeah. I tried to pick him up last week for my bye week start, and somebody else picked him up in front of me. So I ended up with Jimmy G, thinking that game was going to be more of a shootout than it was.
They scored 24 points.
Yeah,
it is what it is. It is what it is. I mean, come on, you're going up against my Chiefs, man.
But it's still, I was hoping that they would put like 30 something up. I was hoping the Chiefs would put 40 up, but if you had McCole Hardman last week in your DraftKings, you probably made some money.
There you go. Yeah, I mean, McCole Hardman 3 touchdowns, 2 rushing and receiving, so definitely did work there finally. But guys, that is going to be it for Fantasy Football Friday here with my man Tori Anderson. You can find him at manhour_Tori on Twitter, or you can also click on the link in the description to take you to the Fantasy Disruption Facebook group here. And Tori's very active over there. Yeah, he's in there at least 3 times a day. So definitely got any questions in there, pop it up. Tori, before we head out and wish everybody a good weekend, any closing thoughts?
You know what? I'm finally not being fat no more. I'm pretty happy about that. If I can get out and start running and exercising, literally anybody can start doing this. If you're feeling bad about yourself like I was, just get out and start doing it. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter how fast or how far you go, as long as you move forward, my friends.
There you go. All right, guys. We'll see you next week right here on the Man